But I mean, have you picked up on some of this national buzz, like Peter King, Mike Florio, Albert Breer, Greg Bedard, Tommy Kern? They've all said something to the likes of the the stability of Bill Belichick's job in the next year or so. Like they're not writing it off. There's something there that for some reason five prominent like reporters are talking about how Bill Belichick might not be the Patriots head coach next year. Now that doesn't mean he's gonna get fired. It's one of those things where it might be a time for both the Crafts and Bill Belichick to move off of each other. And obviously Bill goes and does his thing at a different organization, and Kraft gets to reset the Patriots. So have you picked up on some of this stuff coming out of some of these reporters, and what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I've seen that. I saw, the national guys like you said, like Breer and Peter King, and I mean, Jay, you can even go back and I know Josina Anderson has like a way of going about things on Twitter, but like 3 months ago, she put out there that the coaching cycle in the offseason is going to be interesting because some like seasoned and tenured veteran coaches may be on the move, and it wasn't really that veiled of like hey, follow the breadcrumbs and see where I'm going to lead you to. Like she pretty much led you to Foxborough. Like that made the logical sense. And I mean, Jay, we were on here 2 weeks ago pretty much saying like Bob Kraft is pissed that this game got flexed out of prime time and got relegated to the 425 slate on Sunday. And, honestly, thank God, because the Giants, Commanders game was so much better compared to this. But, I mean, if you feel that certain type of way and you think like this franchise has a carte blanche to be like the Cowboys to be in prime time, regardless of who's at quarterback or what the record is, XYZ, I mean, things are going to have to change. Like, it's not just, everyone is on New England's ass about the offense and, Mac Jones' lack of development and whether or not it's just Mac Jones really just hitting a ceiling, or is the coaching staff, holding him back? Is it the chicken or the egg kind of deal? I mean, I feel like, Jay, everything that's gone on for the last 2 years, and we heard last year, rumblings of how this team essentially quit after the bye week, right? And now you're starting to see it. Like it looks like the team is mailing it in again. Like I think it's safe to say, it's not that far from the realm of possibility that Bill Belichick's voice is not echoing so much, as much as it was in the locker room maybe 5 years ago. And it's not beyond the realm of moving on from a Hall of Fame head coach. The Dolphins moved off of Don Shula, after he had one losing season in his like 19-20 year tenure as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. So it's not beyond the realm.
It's a facade. All of it's a facade. I'm sorry. I know I'm a beaten drum here, and people roll their eyes when I say this shit, but it really was Brady carrying the message of Belichick in the locker room. Like when Brady can basically stand up in front of the team, being the highest paid, most like successful NFL quarterback of all time in the team meeting, and say, hey, listen, yeah, I'm going to get shit on by Belichick, and I'm going to carry his water in this locker room, then of course everybody's going to fall in line. And now you're starting to see what people, when there is not a Brady-like figure in the locker room, like, people are running wild. Like Kendrick Bourne's talking shit, Nelson Aguilar is taking shots. Like even Mac Jones this week was going back at Bill Belichick about his arm strength. Like there's just like so much like BS coming out of the locker room that we're just stunned. We as Patriots fans thought we had an established culture that's something we can hold on to, right? The main reason why we are basically keeping Belichick and letting Brady walk is because that culture will help us through to another Super Bowl. And obviously it's not going to happen now, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I think Robert Kraft in the beginning of the year put down an ultimatum. He was like, listen, we haven't won a playoff game in 3 years. And that basically means what's gonna happen if this year there's no playoff win? It looks like it's not gonna happen this year either. So the ball's in Robert Kraft's court. Like, I mean, I still think he's not ballsy enough to basically pull the plug on Belichick, but I am surprised that all this like heat's coming out of nowhere from all these reporters, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, they're calling out the elephant in the room. Like, it's blatantly obvious at this point. Like, it is not working in New England anymore. Like, they made a bet and they hedged. They put it all on black with Bill Belichick being able to navigate this storm and this quasi rebuild, and clearly it's failing. I mean, Jay, these are like New England, like New York Jet esque type of plays. Like these are Miami Dolphins, after Marino retired type of plays. Like this is Buffalo Bills, like when JP Lossman was the quarterback, and like they had a coaching turnstile up there. Like this is what a mediocre at best franchise type of situation. Like that's where they're at right now,
Yeah.
and they're gonna have to find a new voice. And who's that? Who is that going to be? That's gonna be the $1 million question, because I don't think Sean Payton's walking through that door. He's made it perfectly clear he wants to go to the Chargers and be with Justin Herbert. Like, who do you go? Like, who do you go with?
Well,
Like,
Puma,
I don't think you can
Puma,
go with the defensive guy.
Puma, if I'm the Chargers, I give New England 2 first-round draft picks for Bill Belichick. I do, because at the end of the day, Bill Belichick would be a colossal failure if Carolina called and gave Robert Kraft 2 first-round picks for him to go to the Panthers, because he would need to build a roster, build a culture, establish veteran players, develop them, and then you reach the Super Bowl level team, right? With the Chargers, all that's there. There's veteran core group there. There's a quarterback that can throw the ball 80 yards on a dime. Like, I think Bill Belichick in the Chargers building would be way better than Sean Payton could be in that building. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's something that they should really consider.